Welcome to Pat Stats. Today is June 14th. The Mets on this date since 2015, well, they are 2-2. There's actually like a bit of a star. They're technically 2-3, but they actually could be 2-4 depending on how you look at it. We'll explain that later. But in 2015, they won 10-8. They faced the Braves on a Sunday afternoon at Citi Field. The Mets were surprised that as they were struggling offensively that year. They hit 4 home runs that day. That basically helped out Dylan G, who did not pitch very well for the Mets. He pitched 3 2/3 and allowed 8 runs. The Mets hit home runs had from Daryl Siciliani, his first Major League home run, Dilson Herrera, Travis d'Arnaud, and a go-ahead 3-run shot by Juan Lagares in the 6th inning. Sean Gilmartin got the win for the Mets. In 2016, it was not a great offensive day for the Mets. They got shut out by Jameson Taillon of the Pirates, 4-0. Taillon pitched 8 scoreless against the Mets, and they just could not muster any runs against the Pirates. Jacob deGrom, 6 innings, 2 runs. Not a bad start, but nothing he could do if they lost the game. In 2017, it was a pretty good game for the Mets. Matt Harvey did not pitch well. He only went a few innings, not enough for a quality start at all. But they did come back in the later innings. Curtis Granderson hit his 300th career home run in the 8th, gave them a 5-4 lead against the Cubs. And then later in that inning, Lucas Duda hit a 3-run homer. Mets won 9-4. In 2018, they lost 6-3 against the D-backs. Jason Vargas pitched 5 innings, 3 runs. But the Mets, even though they did hit 3 home runs, Brandon Nimmo, Michael Conforto, and Ahmed Rosario, it wasn't enough. The Diamondbacks won the game. In 2019, here is where you get the little asterisk, because it was a suspended game from the day before. Since we didn't have a Pat Stats yesterday, I'll explain the game before on this day last year, and then the game actually on today. So yesterday's game, they lost. They would end up losing 5-4. Michael Conforto hit a home run for the Mets on the first day. The Cardinals, however, tied the game in the 9th inning. The Mets were winning 4-2. Edwin Diaz allowed the tying runs to score, and then they called the game off. It would be suspended to the next day, which started at 6:10 p.m. And Diaz went back to the mound and gave up the go-ahead run, and then the Mets lost that game. The actual game, the full game for that date, they also lost 9-5. Steven Matz hit a home run for the Mets. That would be his 3rd career home run. And he didn't pitch bad, but not great. And the Mets took the lead in the 7th, but then gave it up in the 8th because Familia allowed 4 runs. And the Mets did not win that game. An interesting thing about that game, though, I told you a couple days ago that the Mets would always switch jerseys if they played 2 games. And when they had a suspended game in 2018 against the Cubs, they did switch jerseys to complete the suspended game and then the actual game. But on this date in 2019, they did not. They had the pinstripes on both times, which actually very surprised me. Very, very surprising. I thought they would definitely change. So, I like the jerseys. I'm sure not many, people notice, but I really hope they like to wear the blue jersey sometimes. It's they don't want them to always wear the same. I like the pinstripes, but I also like the blue. So that's all for Pat Stats today. We'll see you tomorrow.